Three.
Good morning, everyone. We are here to present our solution to the challenge provided by the Daksha Foundation. So first, I would like to continue with the story. There are some people who are underprivileged and who don't have enough money to afford big institutions for healthcare, and sometimes they suffer scarcity in the resources. And on the other hand, we have a resource provider who have extra resources because they don't have that much patience. So what our website does is they connect both kinds of people and help them fulfill their needs. So we have some approaches to the solution. This is how we approach. In this website of ours, patient will not be able to directly connect to the website. He will first contact the paramedic, and the paramedic will find or fill the details of the patient in the website, and according to the needs of the patient, he will get the required resources. And the match that we want to make is algorithm based. No manual thing should be done here. And the match between the patients will be on the basis of the need, the location of the patient, and the time availability of the patient and the doctor. Okay, so we can start the demo. So this is our dashboard. Here is about this page, and first the paramedic or the healthcare provider should log in. If he will log in, then if he's registered, then he don't need to register again. He can directly log in to the system. If you are already a user, they can directly log into the system. And so this is our page. So here we can look at the status that is ongoing, which services are going. The services we have matched, and the services that are still pending to be matched with the resources. And these are different pages. This is the dashboard, history, contacted, and then there is a create request page. This will be filled by the paramedic. Here the patient name and patient details will be provided by the paramedic, and the paramedic will also choose the resources that the patient needs. And after submitting the form, he will have the request in the pending list, and when the resources are matched with the needs of the patient, he will get notified.
Okay, so that was about the front end. Now this is Ritik, and I will take over from here to guide you through what we have built for the backend. Now, because of some time constraint, we were not able to have our platform fully functional and link everything in the front end to the backend, but we have the services ready in the backend. So that can in the future be merged with a front end to build it a fully functional application that can actually be used by the users. So in the backend, as we have already guided you through the register and login process. Now we have two types of user first. The first, as so we mentioned, there's a paramedic, and then there's a service provider who is basically the admin for the service providers and who will manage the resources on behalf of them. So for example, if I am a service provider and if I want to log in as a service provider, then I need to go I first log in as a service provider, and it'll send me a token. So we have used JWT based authentication. It returns me a token. Now, if I want to add a resource, I will first specify my token in the header so that it knows that, okay, I'm authorized to access this resource. And in the body, I can send the type of, so these are the data that we are storing as a part of a resource. So we have the type. So for the type, it can be either a test or a doctor, let's say, or an equipment. So these three types of resources we have. Let's keep it to test for now. Now let's say we have an MRI test available. So MRI slot available as a resource, and add some description, address as in where it is available, city. So one of the major matching criteria for us is based on the city. Now subtype. So here also we can we can have different subtypes based on the type. So for example, if it is a test, then it is MRI. If it was a doctor, it would have been physician or gynecologist or obstetrician or types of doctor basically. Or if it was an equipment, it could have been oxygen cylinder or beds or stretchers or injections or something. Now we need to also provide the availability when that particular resource is going to be available from and to. So let's say it is available from morning 9 to evening 7 p.m. on 5th of January. Now if I hit send on this, it creates a resource. Now if I want to make a request, let's say for MRI test, I will have to now log in as a paramedic, because only paramedics can make requests. So if I log in as paramedic, get the token and go to make request option, fill in the token. Now body, here also these are some of the info that we need to provide as part of request. So we need to provide the patient's name, age, city. Here an optional field also is blood group we can provide if we have that option. So we can give this, but let's skip it for now. We can then provide the type of the resource. So this matches again with the, as I said, and the subtype and time from time to. So this is the preferred time for the patient when they would want to access the resource. Now if I hit send on this, as I've mentioned here, look at the time the patient want to be able to access the resource between 8 a.m. in the morning to 12 in the afternoon. So if I hit send on this, then it'll give me a success, and it has successfully matched me to a resource, and it says that the status of the resource is available. It creates a new request. So this request is created. Now what happens when a new request is created is that it is not immediately fulfilled or accepted. First, a notification goes to the service provider that you have a new request for a resource, and the service provider needs to verify that, accept that request. They can either choose to accept or reject. So if I actually, and how they get to know this, they get to know via notification. So if I go to like email, we are sending email notification, and that particular account that I used as a service provider. Now here we see we get a notification from Daksha Foundation, and latest one is this. You got a resource request. Now this happens. Now from here, they can go to the dashboard. Now this is not implemented, but they can go to their dashboard, and from there they can accept the resource. Now what happens if I actually accept the resource? So for that, we have something called update request status. So again, update request status can be done by only a service provider. So if I log in as a service provider again, and get the token, and here again fill in. Now in the body here, I specify the status that I want and the ID of the request. So I'll get the ID of the request from here. So this is the ID of the latest request that I got, and I want to update its status to uh, accepted. So when the service provider clicks on accept, this is the endpoint that is triggered. If I hit send on this, it says success, and now the request in the accepted state. As you saw here, the request in the pending state when we made a request, but now as the request is accepted, it becomes in the accepted state. Now how do the paramedic or the user get to know that their request has been accepted? Well, they again get an email notification. So now this is the user of the email of the paramedic, and here I have received that resource request has been accepted. Now you and other resources. So now this request will now reflect in the history of the paramedic dashboard. So here now this in the ongoing in the ongoing section, this request would have been available if it was linked to the backend. So that is how the entire workflow of allocating resources are happening. The first, the service provider creates a resource, and then the paramedics can, based on situation, makes a request, and based on some algorithms, based on some matching we do in the backend, the resources are allocated. Now, what happens if a resource is not available? Well, no resource is allocated, but we keep them in queue. And in future, if any particular matching resource gets available, then we match at that time, if it is still required by the paramedic, and then send the email notification. So that is the entire workflow that we have intended for the platform to work. Unfortunately, because of time constraint, we are not able to make it a fully functional platform, but our idea has been, I hope, conveyed. So thank you for bearing with me, and that's all from my side.